Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Nara. I'm a full-time assistant editor of social media and marketing, as well as a full-time business management student. I know, it's a lot. And today we are celebrating the fact that I have passed yet another class. Yay, 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 yay. This is huge. I have been in my second term of business school for about 2 months now, and I have completed not one, not two, but 3 classes in the span of 2 months. Insane, insane work on my part. I honestly don't know how I continue to speed through this semester. It's like a new second wind has been caught and I'm just going full throttle, but I'm still making sure to take breaks and time and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm really impressed with myself, and I wanted to sit down and talk about it with y'all. So the class I just finished was Functions of Human Resources Management at WGU, Western Governors University. And I would say this class in total took me 3 weeks to complete. Anytime I tell y'all how long it took me to complete a class, I'm just telling you the timeline of when I launched the class to when I passed the final exam or the final assessment project, whatever it was. So this class I spent 3 weeks actively enrolled into. Now, the amount of time I spent studying is kind of up in the air a little bit. I did not track my hours studied like I normally do. I kind of was just going whenever I had the chance. When I first started this class, I took a pre-assessment because this class is exam-based. So I had like a pre-test that I took before I even started reviewing the material. And I passed the pre-assessment like fairly well. It definitely wasn't my highest scoring pre-assessment, but I scored decently. And I went into this class feeling like I didn't necessarily need to do a lot in terms of studying because this class is based on HR policies and labor laws. A lot of those I'm already familiar with via other classes I've taken, or just me loving watching video essays on YouTube and learning about these things through other creators that I just happened to come across. Or my sister, she used to work in HR for a period of time, so I learned a lot of stuff from her over the years as well. So there's just things I knew, things I didn't know. So when I took the pre-assessment, I kind of just figured I would do well, and I did. And there was really only one section that was very poorly performed in, and that was everything to do with employee training, development, and performance evaluation. I scored the lowest in that section, so I really focused on reviewing that and other things that I was like, I might not know what this exact theory is. Like, I didn't know what the Delphi method was. I really studied sparingly over these last 3 weeks. I would say the first week I started was the majority of my studying time, where I was reviewing videos and flashcard resources provided by the course instructor. And then eventually, life happens. I also work a full-time job, so I can't spend like every waking free moment I have on school. I have other things in my life that need tending to because I am in an office. I'm not at home all the time, so I don't have the luxury to do a lot of things in a day. When I get home from work, I just have to spend time with my dog, make us dinner, and then from there I can kind of pick one activity to do in the evening. So I typically rotate between working out, doing schoolwork, or working on YouTube videos. I try to reserve YouTube stuff mostly for the weekend, but some days I need a break from school, so then I go over to YouTube stuff, or I need a break from YouTube, I work out. It's trying to find a balance between everything, truthfully, which if you guys are interested in seeing like a day in my life or a week in my life, let me know down below, because it's something I've been thinking about doing since, my whole brand, my whole thing is like I do so much all like just in life between school and work and working in content creation while also trying to like have my own platform, I'd be doing the most if I'm being honest. So if that is something you're interested in, let me know. But yeah, I really try to balance everything as best as I can. And admittedly, I have my days where I don't do anything that I set out to do. And yes, those days suck, but you kind of have to remember that it's like, you got to take it one day at a time. One thing I really took to heart from my many years of being in therapy is that if you live in the past, you're depressed. If you live in the future, you're anxious. So really all you can do is be in the present. And like, that's the only way you're gonna stay grounded. And it's really easy for me to look at what I didn't do yesterday and let that affect my mood today, or look at all the things I need to do by tomorrow or later this week and feel overwhelmed and let that stop me from being in the moment. That's really easy to do. So it's, it is a lot of mental work to get up every day and be like, this is the one thing I want to get done, and I'm going to try my best. And if it doesn't happen, I can't let myself get down on myself too much. I can't punish myself for that. You can hear it. I've been sick for the last week. So my entire schedule was like thrown out the window. I barely got to study this week. I barely did any like work. When I had to like take time off because I was like so not well. And, I used that time whenever I did have little bouts of energy. I used it to try to keep my apartment clean just for my own benefit since I was sick. And then, if I had any extra brain power, then maybe I did like something creative, like write a script or color, or, maybe I just sat and I watched TV all day because you need to let yourself rest. Like that's one thing that I've really come to terms with in this semester is I have to let myself take breaks. Obviously, don't go overboard. Like don't put rest before, getting stuff done. Cause it's easy to sort of be like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I'm gonna take a break instead. You kind of have to draw a line between like the mentality of like, I just don't want to do it versus like, no, for my benefit, for my well-being, I need to allow restful activity. So I try to give myself like one day out of the week where it's like, I'm not allowed to work out. I'm not allowed to do school. I'm not allowed to think about my YouTube channel. I just have to relax. And thankfully I have a partner. So, he makes it easier for me where we can just be like, okay, today we're like going on a date all day. And while we're out, we're not going to think about school or anything. Like we're just going to hang out. So whether, sometimes we'll go to the movies. Last weekend we went to Oak Glen. We drove all the way over there and we went apple picking. And so I've had like a mound of apples in my kitchen for a couple weeks now. That's been like a fun way for me to, spice up my cooking a little bit, try to challenge myself to use all the apples I picked. So, it is important to do those things, but you have to balance the two is what I'm really trying to say. So I would say like these last 3 weeks, I definitely allowed more time for rest because I was sick, but I still did study. Like I said, I reviewed lecture videos, did a lot of Quizlet stuff. I was able to find Quizlet resources like through the student portal via the professor, course instructor. I also I've done this a few times with other classes where if I just want like a brief overview of like all the material, or I want advice on how to approach something, and maybe I don't necessarily want to wait for a response from the instructor or like my course or my degree advisor, like my overall advisor. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll even take like the course code and the name of the course, and I'll just Google it and see if I can find Reddit threads of other students previously that were like, I took this class before. This is my advice of how I approached it and how I was able to, finish it in X amount of time. For this class, I ended up going onto YouTube and I was able to find, I don't know if it definitely wasn't my course instructor. It might've been like a previous one or a different one, or maybe it was like a tutor, but I was able to find someone who did like an entire PowerPoint presentation, just going over the bare bones material for the entire course in like a 2-part video. And so last night, because I took the exam this morning, last night as I was like getting ready for bed and I was, doing some work for some YouTube stuff, I just had it playing in the background and I was just listening to it. Because sometimes you just, instead of like listening to music or a podcast, which I do plenty of already, instead of doing that, I can put on like this overview video or like one of the lecture videos from my student portal, just something to kind of like fill the dead air. So even if I'm not necessarily like listening in wholeheartedly, you'll hear things and you'll be like, oh, right, okay, cool. Or like, oh yeah, that's what that was. And so when I was taking the exam this morning, there were like a few moments where I was like reading something, I was like, this sounds really familiar. And then like it unlocked the memory of me like, washing my face before bed last night and this like other video was playing in the background. So I definitely tried to incorporate like passive and active study methods, if that makes sense. Like with this class, I didn't even bother to open the textbook because I felt that I knew enough to where like any sort of lecture video or Quizlet prep was going to supplement my baseline knowledge already. And I was right, and it worked out for me. But if you feel like you learn better through reading, then like, yeah, go read the textbook. Or, maybe like have, I know there's like the built-in readers where like it reads it at you. If that works for you, go for it. But that's how I went about it, and that was my approach, and that's how I feel. I felt good about it. I always get nervous before an exam, but overall I felt like pretty sturdy in my attempt in this class, and I performed well. Like I performed well in the exam. I scored a fairly high mark on the bar chart that shows you how well you did. All of the sections I scored competent on. 2 of them I scored exemplary on, including one of the sections that was like one of my worst sections. So, obviously the pre-assessments and the actual exam are not a 1-for-1, but I'm content with the amount of information that I learned and my ability to pass the exam in 3 weeks. I honestly probably could have done it faster, but again, I was like sick for a week, so I was trying to let myself rest. And like, best believe when I took the exam this morning, I was like in pajamas. I had like my box of tissues sitting right here. I had like a pile of dirty tissues and I was like coughing and blowing my nose. And it was really gross, but it was funny when I was doing, because it's like all proctored, you have to like have a camera. When I was setting up my exam, like they make you show the room, you have to show under the desk and behind your monitor, and like you can't have any devices near you other than the one you're working off of, and everything has to be closed out except for the exam. And so the proctor like messaged me and was like, I was like, okay, now is the time. Like if you have any resources, like if you're using a whiteboard or a calculator, like show them front, back, side to side, like to the camera so I can make sure there's like nothing taped onto it. And I was like, I'm not using any resources, but I have this box of tissues. And so I was like, there's nothing on it, I swear. It's just Puff's tissues. I've been sick for a week. And they were like, it's fine. But I thought that was funny. But like I said, school has gone pretty smoothly, even with me being sick for the last like week, which has been not great, but I'm getting better. I'm just dealing with like this lingering cough and like sore, raspy voice I got going on. Have so many lozenges next to my bed, like a whole stash back there. But overall, like school has been good. I went ahead and I started the next class. I haven't looked at the material. I have a rule with myself that when I finish a class, I don't like to just jump into the next one. I like to let myself have the rest of the day off, which is why I like to take exams in the morning. One, because I'm like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and like ready to go. But also just because it gives me the rest of the day to like take a break. Because again, breaks are super important, whether you're online, in person, even if you're not a student, if you're like just a working girl, or that's not what I meant. If you're just a girl who has a job, or you have things in your life, like rest is so important. So, don't be afraid to take a break. Within reason, obviously. But yeah, so my next class is Innovative and Strategic Thinking. It's a like project essay-based class. I have no idea what this class is about. I have no idea what to expect from it. I literally just pressed start now. So like I'm currently enrolled in this class. I have there's two performance tasks that I have to like complete and pass in order to pass the entire class. But I'm not even gonna look at it today because I passed an exam. I'm allowed to have the rest of the day off from school. Like I said, that's everything with school. So we're happy. We've gotten 3 classes done in the last 2 months. We're way ahead of schedule. That's great. That's awesome. Let's put a pin in that. And now let's talk about the rest of my life. Work. How is work? How is like having a day job, balancing that with being a full-time student? Honestly, it's great. I've been with my current company for a good chunk now. Not a full year yet. When I do hit a year, oh, you'll hear about it. You will hear about it because for those of you who don't know, I was unemployed for like 10 months after getting laid off from this startup that I only got to work for like 3 months. So the entire time I've lived in LA, I was like pretty much unemployed up until I got this current job I'm in. So I have a lot of like trauma. I have a lot of hang-ups around my career. It's gotten way better now that I've like, you know, I feel more established in my role at work and I've had more time to become, you know, a cog in the overall machine that is my job. I don't know, I feel very grounded in my day job, and I'm not going to talk like about what I do like in excessive detail. Just I really want to address, you know, the whole fact that it's like, yeah, I am a full-time employee. I work the, you know, quote unquote 9 to 5. And I also, you know, still try to make time for my studies and for YouTube and for friends and for my dog and for my partner and my family. And it is a lot. It can be super stressful. I mean, I've definitely had my days where, you know, I have a day at work and it's like, it's not good. It's like not bad necessarily, but I'm just so like drained because I just like had a lot to do, or, you know, maybe I was just like low energy that day. I mean, like even this past week, like being sick, I had to like take days off of work. I had to remote for a couple days. And like the one day I did go into the office, I was so exhausted at the end of the day just because like, again, I'm not on 100%. And I was just like, I was still like very fatigued. And yeah, I got home that day and I was just like, oh my God, like I can't do anything for the rest of the day. Like I barely was able to make myself dinner because I was just so exhausted. Again, I'm still getting over this like sickness I've been having. So I love my job. I love being able to like have a job, especially in this economy. But yeah, no, it can be a lot. And so overall, I think what I try to do for myself in that regard is I really try so hard to have routine. And I'm not perfect. Like I've gotten a little bit better, but I mean, if my therapist knows, like I struggle to keep up with it. I'm really trying. And I think the longer that I've been in this role at work, the easier it's becoming for me to hold on to routine, just because it's like, okay, well, you know, there's like a sort of forced imposed routine onto me just by like having a day job, which I didn't have previously during my unemployment. But, you know, it's still hard. I tell myself I'm gonna wake up at a certain time every day, and then I don't wake up until an hour later. And that definitely, like, you know, when I wake up late, it brings down my mood because I'm like, I woke up late. I have like less time to do the XYZ. I really have to be like on top of my groceries. Like I have to really think about like, okay, what do I want to eat this week? Not even this week. Like, what do I want to eat for the next like 3 to 4 days? What can I make that will last me, you know, X amount of days? And how can I preserve it in a way that is easy for me to reheat? Because I don't have a microwave. I have an oven and a stove. And so I'm really trying to get into that. My fridge currently is so messy. It needs a deep clean. I definitely saw some mold on some old rice that I need to throw out. Not me airing out my dirty laundry. But speaking of, I have a pile of dirty laundry literally right there that needs to get done. And yeah, I just try really hard not to let myself feel overwhelmed. Like it is a lot. It's a lot of stuff I have to do all the time, every day. And it can be stressful, but I have to keep reminding myself it's like one thing at a time. Like it doesn't all need to get done today. It's one thing at a time. It'll be okay. I was just talking to my best friend, cousin Emily, who's coming into town in a couple months. Super excited. But we were on the phone yesterday and we were talking about how when you're like younger and if you're kind of like forced to like self-parentify or like take care of yourself, that like once you hit adulthood, you kind of like regress a little bit, or like maybe there are certain things that don't necessarily click in your brain because no one really taught you those things. So for me, I kind of like came to this realization, and like pretty much since I got my full-time job that I'm currently in, pretty much since starting this job, it dawned on me, well, because I go to work every day and then I come home, and then by the end of the week my apartment is a complete pigsty, like so messy. And then I don't want to film anything because I'm like, well, my apartment's a mess. I don't want to like show how messy it is. You know, I want to have like some decorum online. And I was just like, I don't get it. How do people keep their homes clean? Like I clean once a week or one day of the month. I'm like, why is it always so messy? Why is there always something to clean? And then it like just clicked in my head that it's like, oh, like you really just like have to do a little bit every day. And I know that sounds so like, duh, like, yeah, of course, like you just do a little bit every day, it becomes a less daunting task, duh. But like, I didn't really like have that growing up. Like when I was growing up, there was no like, we didn't do chore charts, we didn't do the chore wheel, like there was no like allowances for chores. There was no like accountability to being like, hey, you gotta clean up after yourself. Every time you use a dish, wash it. Like that was not a thing for me growing up. And now that I'm trying to be like a functioning person and I'm really trying to better my life through my education, through my career, but like even just through my day, like my menial like chore like tasks, like in my home. I want to cultivate a home where it's like, oh, if my friends want to come over, I don't have to be like, oh wait, no, my apartment's a mess. No, my apartment's just clean because I keep it clean. Like it's so simple, but it isn't. And like I don't know. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about? Because like, I did not have the most functional of homes growing up. So like, I did not like ever think about any of this type of stuff. Like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I'm having a personal breakthrough of like, if you just do a little bit every day, it really is that simple. Like, it really is that simple. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm kind of just on a rant now. But no, yeah, I'm really trying hard to make, you know, my desk space, my home as a whole, just like more livable, so that when I do have those days that it's like I come home from work and I'm just like, I don't have the energy to do shit, then it's like, okay, great. You don't have to, like, or just like clean one dish. Like, that's it, girl. You don't got to do anything else. I don't know what else to talk about. Because I finished these 3 classes in under 2 months, you're only required to do a minimum of 4 classes. And I only have 1 left. So if I'm able to finish this class like in under, 2 weeks, or even just like by the end of November, then like I still have 3 more months left in my term. And I could do at least 3 more classes. Like, I could definitely do a class a month after this, which means I would be able to complete 7 classes before the end of this term, which is huge, because if I do that, then I can graduate faster. So snaps to me. I feel like I'm properly able to do my job, do it well, and then come home and separate myself from my day job and focus on what I have at home, whether it is school, health, cleaning, YouTube, anything, or like hang out with friends. Like I went to an Italian place last night with my girlfriends. We listened to jazz. We went to a bakery across the street and got ourselves some little pastries, and we watched the Dodgers win the World Series, and it was lovely, lovely night. And then today, like after I'm done doing, finishing my exam, finishing up YouTube stuff I have set for today, I'm gonna go over to my partner's house and we're gonna watch a movie, and it's gonna be lovely and gorgeous and wonderful. It really is about balance, finding good, healthy balance, having healthy, restful activities, having your different little little pools, your little cups to like drink out of and dip into. You know, if like, oh, like this cup's getting too full. Okay, let me pour some of my time into this other cup and focus on this instead, you know? Just being able to be malleable, be balanced. I think it's like super important to how I've been able to maintain my current style of life. And hopefully by the time I'm done getting my degree, I will have instilled these healthy habits that then will allow me to use the newfound free time of like not having to take classes anymore to put into other things, like putting more time and effort into my YouTube channel, being able to do more scripted stuff, do bigger projects. I mean, I have an entire like notes app page just full of ideas I have for like long-term, short-term things, like for things like within the next like 6 months for this YouTube channel, things I want to do in the next couple of years, things I want to do things I want to do like when I graduate, like the type of pivot I might want to make to naturally like progress my creative voice and vision and my channel. But even like outside of YouTube, like I have I'm currently still like buying furniture for my apartment. I'm planning on buying a couch at the end of the month, which I'm so excited for. And the side wall here of my bookshelf, I bought little mini like gold picture frames, and I'm going to paint like watercolor paint, cute little like a goose and like maybe like some ribbons, and maybe I'll like print out a picture of Maple and put it on there and like hang it on here. And I want to like paint flowers and vines and like wallpaper in my bedroom wall. Like I have so many creative outlets that have nothing to do with my job, have nothing to do with school, have nothing to do with my YouTube. They're just for me. You know, like I'm gonna go home for the holidays and I'm going to fly back with my entire Scooby-Doo collection that I had to like leave behind, because when I first moved out here, I was moving into a place where I didn't have space for it. But now I do. So I'm gonna like fly back home, bring like a empty suitcase just to like fill it with my dozens and dozens of Scooby-Doo DVDs and stuffed animals, and I'm so excited to have my collection back. I'm gonna, you know, start collecting like physical media again, and like get back into gaming, and like, you know, just all these things that I love, that I'm like, not everything needs to be profitable, not everything needs to be to like necessarily, you know, be for some sort of like output. It can truly just be because it brings you joy, and you know, it's not your phone. You know, I'm trying really hard to not be on my phone all the time and not be so like lost in the doom scroll. So yeah, but I would love to hear from you guys. Please comment down below all the things that you're trying to balance right now. I feel like we're in an era where, especially with Gen Z, like we are doing so much. And I know plenty of other people my age that have like 2 jobs or more. They have, you know, I mean, I got my dog back there slurping up water, but we all have so many different responsibilities, whether it's like we're in school, we're working full time, maybe you have 2 full-time jobs, maybe you have 3 part-time jobs, maybe you're like, you know, in residency for med school, and you're like, you know, doing like 3 a.m. graveyard shifts. Like, let me know down below, like, what is it that you're juggling, balancing? And also make sure to like this video if you like this video, and hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this from me. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where my footing here is on YouTube. I know my general vibe, but I'm experimenting with different styles of video. So, you know, let me know if you like this, because that's, you know, I want to build community, and I want to make sure that I am doing things that people actually like are interested in and that people find value in. So let me know. But anyways, that's it from me. Thank you so much. I love you the most, and I'll see you next week.